everyone, and welcome to the LanStar Kitchen. I'm JKLantern, and tonight we will be making steamed hams. So if you're anything like me, you were first introduced to this food item from an episode of The Simpsons, in which Principal Skinner burns his pot roast and then steals Krusty Burger and concocts an elaborate lie. And if you're anything like me, you did not think that steamed hams were actually a thing. They're not called that, but steamed cheeseburgers are actually a dish. This is a meal that first came about in the 1920s. They were supposedly invented at a place called Jack's Lunch in Middletown, Connecticut, which incidentally, not terribly far from where I was born. Not that I would remember, because we moved away from Connecticut when I was about 3, but you still find steamed cheeseburgers being served, mostly in central Connecticut and not very many other places. I discovered this one day when Googling regional dishes, and I was like, holy crap, that's a thing? Really? So I tried a version of it a few years back, and it wound up tasting really good. So today, we are going to do it together. What we have here is a mixture of 72-28 ground beef. That means it is 28% fat and 72% lean, along with some venison we've been gifted. The reason we're using the venison, because it's delicious. The reason we're using the higher fat ground beef, well, 2 reasons. Venison is very lean. You don't get much fat in it at all. So for proper cooking, you tend to need to add fat to it, otherwise it's very dry. The other reason, the 72-28 ground beef was really, really cheap. Normally I would use slightly leaner ground beef, 80-20, or if I'm cooking for my parents, maybe even 90-10. But for the purposes of this, we have the 72-28, and adding to that, we have some onion powder, some black pepper, and some Lowry's seasoned salt. And we are going to mix all that together. As you can see, the venison meat is a much darker red than the ground beef. A little bit gamier, but it's quite good. We've been using venison in several dishes here. You want to get that mixed up as much as possible.
And be sure to wash your hands before handling any meat.
And after, because foodborne illness is no joke. Always remember to wash your hands with raw meat. Alrighty, and from there, this is probably going to be more meat mixture than what we need. We want to work it into patties, and you're going to want a slight divot in the middle. Supposedly this helps keep your burgers from shrinking a bit. I don't know if scientifically that is true, but we will give it the old college try, right? Pound that a little thinner.
Look at that nice marbling.
think I can get a little bit more meat in this one.
How thick you'd say you want to make your patties?
How thick?
Yeah.
3/4 of an inch, although I am terrible at judging distance and size.
Okay.
Mostly because I am large! And one more for good measure. So we have these nice patties. And so now, what the hell do we do with them?
I assume we cook them.
We do, and because they are steamed hams, we are going to be steaming them. Nobody's entirely sure why they started doing steamed cheeseburgers at Jack's Lunch, but one of the prevailing theories is that, as with any time period, there are food fads, and one of the fads was steaming foods in general. It was believed to be healthier than cooking something in a frying pan or griddling it, which, to be fair, is true of many foods. I'm not sure if that's any more true than with burgers, because most of the fat you're going to be using for frying burgers are within the meat itself. That said, some of the fat may drip out into the water as it's steaming, but as you can see, we have our kettle of water going with our basket steamer. This may be a little bit crowded. So you are going to want to cook those until they reach an internal temperature of, ideally for optimum safety, 155 if you're using pure ground beef. You can get away with a little less, but for safety purposes, you probably want to stick to about 155. At least that's what they taught us in ServSafe training. Since we're also using the venison, we may want to be a little bit hotter than that. So normally this would be 7-8 minutes. I'm probably going to cook it a little bit longer, so I will see you then. As you can see, those are looking nice and well cooked. Not as crispy as you would see on like a flat top or something, but you know, I like cheese on my burgers. Do you like cheese on your burgers?
Absolutely.
Now normally you would use cheddar, but we're in America. In America, we like our jack cheese. We like our pepper jack cheese. So what we are going to do is we are going to turn the heat off. And we are going to slap our cheese onto each one of these, assuming my hands will cooperate.
Given the size, you could probably just do 2 slices. It'll cover all of them.
I could, but I'm not going to. Cover those suckers back up and let the residual heat melt them a little bit. It'll be about 2 minutes or so. Nice, melty, and delicious. So now that that is all melted, let's see if I can successfully get them out of here. Gonna have to clean that up later, but that's okay. Always remember to clean up your kitchen, folks.
Yep.
So we are going to do double cheeseburgers.
Hell yeah.
Come here, you. Be careful, folks. I'm a trained professional. And because we can, we prepped up some bacon beforehand. Basically stuck it in a 350 degree oven for about 20 minutes or so. A burger that you'll have to unhinge your jaw to eat. As you can see, we have a nice all-American lunch, which again, I'm going to be unhinging my jaw to eat. Served with fries or chips, burger is an American staple. So let's see how this tastes. Moist, juicy, and flavorful. Definitely one of my preferred methods of having a burger. If you've never tried it, or if you want to get in on the meme, you can now do it at home. But for now, this has been the LanStar saying thank you very much for watching. Good eating, everybody.
Bye. 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 Bye.